What's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Today, we're taking a peek over here at the Bitcoin price chart and the altcoin market. Not a tremendous amount of price action here on the cryptocurrency charts, but looking at Bitcoin up close, teetering on the edge of setting a new low here compared to back on June 22nd, so just about a week ago, hovering right down here at the edge. And something happened today that we haven't seen happen since April 5th, when MicroStrategy announced that they bought $191 million worth of Bitcoin. Right there on April 5th, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy have come out to announce that they've bought an additional 480 Bitcoins for $10 million at an average price of $20,817 per Bitcoin, making their total holdings 129,699 Bitcoin acquired at an average price of $30,664. I can't read into this too much, but what typically happens whenever Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy announce that they've bought Bitcoin, retail investors get excited about that, and the price has a tendency to fall. It kind of like happens every single time that Michael Saylor does this and MicroStrategy does this. But what's real interesting about this one right now is that the price is $20,000. They bought $10 million worth. They haven't announced Bitcoin purchases in a couple of months. They bought $10 million worth at $20,000. I mean, just look at their last one. Their last one was $191 million when it was $40,000. Really, like $45,000. So I don't know, something kind of weird about that. And actually, I do need to correct that. They did actually buy back in May. It was also 10 million, this small amount. But when we look back to April, it was 190 million. And when you look at February, it was 1.026 billion. So it was 100 times more at 52,000. So they literally spent 100 times more money on Bitcoin in February than this little tiny May buy and this little tiny June buy. Also kind of comes at this moment on whether or not we're getting a new low that's going to be set in here for Bitcoin, kind of invalidating the higher highs and higher lows scenario. We'll see how that plays out, but it sure did take a long time for Michael Saylor to come out and announce that they were buying Bitcoin. And odd that it's only $10 million worth, probably the smallest that we've seen, especially at these lower price levels. Just interesting. Now, if you caught yesterday's video, I've been doing a little bit of reshuffling in my portfolio. Probably should have mentioned that it's less than 25% of my portfolio that I've really been reshuffling, but I've had the joy of experiencing the exchanges, which I rarely do because I'm not a day trader. So I'm not like hanging out on exchanges very often, and how it still is kind of a pain point to send and receive these things and wait on them with the exchanges. But of course, it was a little nerve-wracking too, because I don't really like to keep my stuff on the exchanges. I kind of get it on from a nano ledger, and then I get it off really fast. And this article came out yesterday on Forbes from Sam Bankman-Fried, who is the CEO of FTX, and he's been warning that some crypto exchanges are secretly insolvent. So if you're keeping your stuff out there on some of these smaller exchanges, he is warning that there are exchanges out there that will fail soon. After throwing lifelines to troubled digital currency platforms BlockFi and Voyager Digital, Sam Bankman-Fried, the 30-year-old billionaire founder of FTX, warns that some crypto exchanges will soon fail. Goes into talking about how, everything kind of started with the Luna and the Terra collapse of $60 billion that happened in this market. Bitcoin now at 20,000, but that the fallout has been far from complete, with Three Arrows Capital, a highly leveraged crypto trading firm with $200 million of exposure to Luna, revealed that it's nearly insolvent. Three Arrows had borrowed large sums from numerous crypto firms, including New Jersey's Voyager Digital and New York-based BlockFi. So we've seen FTX trying to bail out these companies. In order to survive Three Arrows' default, the two digital asset exchanges turned to billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried, founder of FTX and the richest person in crypto, and he provided the companies with $750 million in lines of credit. He says, we're willing to do somewhat of a bad deal here if that's what it takes to sort of stabilize things and protect customers. In other words, kind of stabilize the markets. But here's where this is kind of going. Fried's FTX, along with Coinbase, Kraken, and Binance, are giants among digital asset exchanges. They have millions of customer accounts, and functionally, they operate similarly to online stockbrokers. But outside of these whales, there are more than 600 crypto exchanges around the world operating in a large, unregulated frontier. But despite the generous bailouts, not even Bankman-Fried is able or willing to throw good money after bad in perpetuity. There are companies that are basically too far gone and it's not practical to backstep them for reasons like a substantial hole in the balance sheet, regulatory issues, or that there's not much of a business left to be saved. So I think it's kind of given a clue here, right? With BlockFi and Voyager coming to him to help for a bailout. I bet there have been other exchanges that have come to him for bailouts. And he's kind of given the warning saying, hey, look, there's some out there that are in kind of some serious problems. So like I said, it's not very fun for me to be playing around on the exchanges, but it definitely made me feel uneasy being on them. If you're on these exchanges, get yourself off the exchanges. I personally use a nano ledger. I do not have an affiliate link in the description of my video. The product works fine for me. If you're gonna buy it directly from their website. Don't buy it from a third party. Again, I don't have an affiliate link with them. I like their product, but I am not affiliated with Ledger. There are other products out there as well, such as Trezor and several others. So whatever is your preference, it seems like a pretty big warning call is being set out there to get your stuff off the exchanges. As for the markets today, though, kind of a wish-wash day, but obviously in a downtrend in here on whether or not Ethereum's going to set a new lower low down there between $1040 or $1,040, and if Bitcoin's going to hold that 19,750. This is a weird thing to show up at the time that it is, especially for the small amount that it is. And historically, when this happens, can you read this as a tried and true thing to say what happens next? No, you can't. But it is weird for him to show up. And it's weird that it's such a small amount and it's clearly getting a lot of engagement and a lot of excitement. So is MicroStrategy in some type of financial problem, or is MicroStrategy not confident with this price level? Or is it kind of a retail investor lure in? I don't know, but it's weird. It's a small amount compared to what they historically do. But as for now, it's still holding that lower low. If it does take out the lower low down here at 19,750, it does start losing its higher highs and higher lows structure that shows up in potential V bottoms to work its way out of here. And same goes for Ethereum in here at 1,040, but still, it's still, within it with higher highs and higher lows as long as that isn't getting taken out, but it is working its way back down. You would think if we were going to just be kind of V bottoming out here, there wouldn't be so much sideways action happening in here. We're getting quite a bit of it. So the range and the wait continues on. Here we are Wednesday, halfway through this week, and yet it still is going on in here, but definitely Bitcoin right down there at the edge of it. And still, there's 4 days remaining in this week, but it sure isn't showing any signs as of yet that it's going to be going back and crossing back above that 200-week moving average, while the altcoin market cap still remains above it. Either way, both of them still closing candles above the previous all-time high back in 2017 and 18. But as for V-bottoms coming out of here we are a week later, and it's really dancing with it all over again. So not looking too strong. So kind of a mixed day out there. Not a whole lot to say in regards to like things that have changed. Like if we take out 19,750 for Bitcoin, then hey, you have a new low. That removes the higher highs and higher lows V bottom structure. And it just points to that, hey, this thing is probably weaker than it looks. But right now we're still within that range. So as for price action, it's right there dancing on the edge. MicroStrategy comes out and says that they're buying. At the same time, CEO of FTX is saying, hey, get your stuff off exchanges. Really subliminally, it's what it sounds like he's saying, that a lot of these smaller exchanges are secretly insolvent. So wild time in crypto right now, for sure. Unlike some of the things I've seen, like I don't really recall many times where there was this much kind of uncertainty in the actual crypto market in regards to this insolvency and contagion and all that kind of stuff. But as with all things, they eventually pass, but it's about weathering the storm right now. So still waiting to see which direction Bitcoin's going to choose right here. Otherwise, I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. And in the meantime, get your stuff off of exchanges. But all right, guys, that's going to be it for today. A short little video today. I put out a 20-minute video over there on bcbacker.com for those who are enrolled, highlighting things I talked about yesterday. But otherwise, we'll go ahead and wrap this thing up. And tomorrow, I'm sure there'll be plenty to talk about. But all right, guys, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor, but if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.